You do not need a plan for your whole life. You need a direction for your next season. That may sound smaller, but it solves a problem that a 10-year plan cannot. You are trying to predict yourself before you have lived enough evidence. You want to know the right career, city, relationship, business, and identity before making a move that could teach you anything. So you wait. You research every option, imagine every regret, and call the delay responsibility because uncertainty feels too dangerous. The hidden rule is simple. I am allowed to begin only when I am certain. But certainty is not the entry fee. Certainty is usually the result of contact. You learn what fits by doing, noticing, adjusting, and sometimes admitting that an attractive idea felt wrong in real life. A life plan can be useful when it organizes known commitments. It becomes harmful when it pretends to answer questions only experience can answer. At 25, 35, or 55, you are still changing. Your skills, responsibilities, health, relationships, and definition of enough will keep moving. Planning every chapter from your current perspective is like writing a map of a country you have never visited. You can draw confident lines. That does not mean the mountains, roads, and weather will obey them. This is why some people follow a respectable plan for years and still wake up feeling like they built the wrong life beautifully. They were excellent at execution, but never stopped to test whether the direction still matched who they were becoming. The alternative is not drifting. It is choosing a direction without demanding that the direction become a permanent identity. A direction says, for this season, I am moving toward work with more autonomy. It does not say, I must know my final career. It can say, I am becoming physically stronger, without requiring the perfect body, program, or lifelong training philosophy. It can say, I am testing whether consistent creative work matters to me, without announcing that you are now an artist forever. Direction creates enough constraint to move and enough flexibility to learn. It gives action a shape without turning today's guess into tomorrow's prison. The fear, of course, is choosing wrong. You imagine losing months or years and discovering that the direction was never meant for you. But waiting is also a direction. It trains caution, preserves inexperience, and creates no new evidence. You are not standing outside the decision. Every month spent avoiding the test is still being spent. The better question is not, can I guarantee this path is right? The better question is, can I test this direction intelligently? That shift matters because permanent decisions create panic. Testable decisions create curiosity. Curiosity lets you ask what the direction requires, what evidence would support it, and what evidence would challenge it. This is where a season of direction becomes useful. Think of it as a focused agreement with yourself, usually for 90 days. 90 days is long enough to move beyond first-week excitement, but short enough to avoid pretending you signed a lifetime contract. Your first step is to name a direction, not a destination. Use language that describes movement rather than a final label. Move toward client work is a direction. Become a successful consultant is a destination loaded with assumptions you cannot test all at once. Build a consistent writing practice is a direction. Become a best-selling author depends on outcomes you do not control. Explore a healthier relationship with money creates movement. Retire at 40 can become a fantasy that hides the next useful action. Your direction should be specific enough to influence Tuesday. If it changes nothing about your calendar, attention, or behavior, it is only a preference. Second, define the season. Put a beginning and an ending on the experiment. Without a boundary, a difficult week feels like proof that the entire direction is wrong. With a boundary, difficulty becomes part of the test. You are not asking, do I feel inspired today? You are asking, what happens when I practice this direction for the agreed season? Third, define one behavior, one skill, and one piece of evidence. The behavior is what you will repeatedly do. If the direction is creative work, the behavior might be publishing once a week. The skill is what you are deliberately improving. Storytelling, sales conversations, strength, emotional honesty, coding, or financial awareness. The evidence is what reality will show you. Did you sustain the behavior? Did the skill improve? Did opportunities, energy, or useful feedback increase? Evidence does not have to flatter you. A clear no can save years of romanticizing a direction you never actually tested. Fourth, remove one competing direction for the season. This is where the test becomes real. You cannot honestly test focused writing while launching 3 businesses, learning 2 languages, and redesigning your entire body at the same time. Every meaningful direction excludes something. Not forever, but long enough to hear a signal through the noise. The exclusion may be another project, a distracting platform, a social commitment, or the habit of researching alternatives every night. This is uncomfortable because keeping every option open protects your fantasy self. You can imagine being excellent at all of them without risking evidence from one. Choosing one direction temporarily does not destroy the others. It stops them from competing for the same hour. Fifth, schedule a review before emotion schedules one for you. At the end of the season, ask 3 questions. What became more true? What became harder than expected? What do I want to test next? Then choose one of 3 outcomes: continue, adjust, or stop. Continuing means the evidence supports another season. Adjusting means the direction still matters, but the method, scope, or environment needs correction. Stopping means the test produced enough information to release the direction without calling the season wasted. This is important. A direction can fail as a future and succeed as an experiment. You may discover that you enjoy design but hate client work, love teaching but dislike classrooms, or value travel less than stability. That is not lost time. That is information your imaginary life plan could never provide. Failure becomes less frightening when it has a defined job. Reveal reality before you build more of your life around an assumption. There is still risk. A test can cost time, money, energy, and pride. Direction is not permission to ignore consequences. Respect your obligations. Do not gamble rent, health, family stability, or safety to make an experiment feel dramatic. Most useful tests are quieter. Take the course, build the project, shadow the work, publish consistently, interview people, or practice the boundary. If you are considering a career, create evidence before resigning. Complete projects, speak with practitioners, and test whether you enjoy the boring parts. If you are considering a creative path, do not ask whether you feel like a creator. Make and publish enough work to encounter repetition, criticism, and improvement. If you are considering a new city, test the daily life when practical, not only the vacation version. The goal is not to make the leap impressive. The goal is to make the evidence honest. You may also discover that your direction is based on escape. Move abroad may actually mean I need distance from a life I refuse to confront. Start a business may mean I want freedom, while the daily reality requires uncertainty, sales, and responsibility you have not examined. Directional testing separates the symbol from the substance. It asks whether you want the work or only the identity attached to it. And if you still cannot choose, do not search for the perfect option. Choose the direction that creates the most useful evidence. Pick the one that teaches a transferable skill, expands real relationships, improves health, or gives you clearer information about your values. The season does not need to reveal your destiny. It only needs to make you less ignorant than you are today. Your life will probably not look like one straight line. It will look like seasons that taught you enough to choose the next one better. Some seasons will compound, others will close doors, correct fantasies, or return you to something you underestimated. The point is not to avoid every wrong turn. It is to stop demanding a complete map before taking a step that can reveal the terrain. Choose one direction for the next 90 days. Define the behavior, the skill, the evidence, and the option you will temporarily set aside. Then, within 7 days, take one action that puts that direction in contact with reality. You do not need to know where the road ends. You need enough courage to walk far enough for the road to teach you something.